2015 is about to end, and it was a great year for the Wii U. There has been tons of fun games released this year, and some, well, other titles that we don't have to talk about. Anyways, last year at about this exact time, I posted my top 10 Wii U games, and I feel that this year was so great that the list I put up last year is obsolete. So here I am again. I'm Nico, and this is my top 10 Wii U games. Alright, last year when I did this list, I hadn't played Pikmin 3, and I wasn't missing out. The game is very good, requiring you to control many Pikmin groups and manage them with the help of 3 different captains. The gamepad is pretty good when you use it as a mini-map, and it really helps planning everything, and also avoid leaving Pikmin behind, because we know what happens when we leave them. Oh, poor Pikmin. The game is kind of short, which explains why it sits at number 10, but it's still a pretty solid entry and a pretty solid Wii U game. This game came out of nowhere when it was released. Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii was a great game, but Tropical Freeze is way better. HD graphics finally showed Donkey Kong and his friends the way they were meant to be seen. The controls are very solid and every level is enjoyable. In this game you play as Donkey Kong with the help of one of your Kong buddy, Diddy, Dixie and Cranky, each having their own abilities. This game can be played with a friend, but it gets hard and chaotic real quick, so be careful. If I had to give out an award for cutest art style for a game ever, I'd give this to Yoshi's Woolly World. This game is so cute, it's so pretty, and it makes me so happy. But that's not the reason why this game is on the list though. Yoshi's Woolly World is a pretty solid platformer reminiscent of Yoshi's Island for the Super Nintendo. In this game you control Yoshi, jumping, running, throwing eggs, or yarn balls in that case, as well as collecting flowers, wonder wool and stamp patches. This game starts off on the easy side, but the real challenge comes from collecting all of the collectibles. Plus, it is a great game to relax and play with your loved one. The Wii U lacks a proper 3D game in the same vein as Super Mario Galaxy or Super Mario Sunshine, but it still had a 3D Mario game nonetheless. Super Mario 3D World is some sort of sequel to Super Mario 3D Land for the Nintendo 3DS. The game is 3D, but plays like a 2D Mario game, meaning that you have to complete levels by reaching the end flagpole. This game introduced a brand new power-up, the cat suit, which let Mario and his friends transform into a lovely cat that can claw and climb on walls. The game can be played with up to 4 players, which leads to pretty interesting and chaotic gameplay. You can play as Mario, Luigi, Peach and Toad, and each of those characters have different abilities, so you should try them all. If I had to use one word to describe Bayonetta 2, it would be crazy. Or you know what, even better, insane. Because that's exactly what this game is. The game is a sequel to the original Bayonetta that was released on last-gen platforms, and it stays true to the formula. A little bit of platforming goodness, followed by an epic battle against many monsters, and usually a giant boss once every few levels. The game features hidden goodies that you'll want to collect to be able to buy more moves and weapons to be able to perform incredible combos. If you haven't had the chance of playing the original Bayonetta game, well, good news, as Bayonetta 2 comes packed with the original Bayonetta. Isn't that amazing? Well, yes it is. Now you go play it. Last year, this game was my #1 on the list, and it caused some sort of commotion, and you know what, I get it now. But at the time, it really was my favorite Wii U game ever. Sadly, it grew stale to me and fell down a couple of positions. Hyrule Warriors is not a Zelda game, it is a Dynasty Warrior game skinned as a Zelda game. It's very fun and highly addictive. In the game, you control one character that leads an entire army to defeat another army and its leader. It is a button mashing game, but it's really fun and addictive. Finishing the game is almost impossible. I've spent about 100 hours in the game and I barely scratched the surface. I also got all of the DLC maps, which means I will most definitely never finish it. It's fun to play, but once you'll get bored of it, it will definitely take a lot of time before being able to go back to it. You can never go wrong with Mario Kart, it's always fun, and that's again the case with Mario Kart 8. The game comes packed with 16 new tracks and 16 original tracks, but with the magic of DLC, there's now 16 more tracks that you can download, and trust me, you'll want to get them all. The tracks are so well made and so different, no wonder it took a lot of months just to create and release them. Obviously, you can play this game alone or with local friends, but the real fun comes from the online mode, which pairs you against friends or random players online. So, what are you waiting for? Hop online, grab those item boxes, and let the game begin. Here's another game where you can't go wrong. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of the Super Smash Bros. Series. It is meant to be played by anyone while being complex and balanced to make the competitive players happy. Sadly, the game has no adventure solo mode, but then at the same time, this isn't where most players will spend their time. The online mode is where it's at. The reason why this game is better rated in this year's list is the ton of DLC that they released. There have been so many new characters and new maps to keep the game interesting and fresh all year. And you know what? It's a shame that the update featuring Bayonetta will be the last one, as this game could be updated forever. Yeah, it's that good. Last year, a little game called Mario Maker was announced, and now it's out. But it's called Super Mario Maker, and for very good reasons. Super Mario Maker is a Mario fan's paradise. You get to create an infinite number of Mario levels. Do you prefer the older Mario game style or the newer ones? It doesn't matter, the game has everything you wish for. Creating a level is not your cup of tea? Not a problem. Hundreds of thousands of players have created millions of levels for you to experience. It's literally impossible to finish Super Mario Maker because it's never finished. In the time you took to complete this one Mario Maker level, well, hundreds of new ones have been shared online, and it's so good. This is the little gem that is gonna keep me busy all year long. And just before we get to #1, there have been a couple of games that I wanted to include in the list that just didn't make the cut for me, either because I didn't have time to play them or because I just didn't like them as much. Here's a rundown. Oh, you saw it coming from a mile away, didn't you? Splatoon is Nintendo's newest IP, and in my opinion, it's one of the most creative games I've ever played. You control a kid holding a weapon, spraying ink everywhere, and then you turn into a squid and swim in the ink? This is genius! Why wasn't the one that had this idea first, man? Splatoon is an online multiplayer third-person shooting game. There are many modes in this game, but my favorite one is called Turf War, where you and your teammates must ink the map and cover it with your team's color. When time runs out, the team that inked the most turf wins. Splatoon is just really addictive and can get very hard and competitive, especially in ranked matches. Like right now, I can't escape B rank, man. I can't do this. When the game launched, it was fun but was lacking in game modes and customization. But Nintendo has been putting out updates like crazy, and now, well, I consider that the game is complete. There are tons of different weapons, tons of different maps, tons of different ranked game modes, there's tons of different everything. There's also this fun single player mode to pass time in between turf wars, but it's completed real quick, so who cares. When you're in a lobby waiting for a match to begin, there's even a little mini game that you can play on your gamepad. What more do you need? If you don't have a Wii U yet, Splatoon is the reason you should get one now, and it's also my favorite Wii U game. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this top 10. And if you want more top 10s in 2016, give this video a like and share it with your friends. That way, I'll know you want more. Happy New Year everyone, and see you next time.